哇，没比起用那永记在阿摩多拉居，第三千跟拉的德玛。dan juba kali jatuh so nang chika imber mahiban senyomo terjewa ma khoi wa chen bi san jian la yong ta mo cha ji cha de so chi nyang ni ji la ma ji ba他年此个结账，趁他年别离完了，永远的歌他灭家的手。都bergawa ranggasen thong ne bom bermesheber shawa ngembe liwana yong jembe so 再让兄你们一起来，你是真被我瞧起，直到些将军吧。特你们接他们家的手，养到个东拉你西家，渐渐渐等着没一段拉梦吧啦，用根牵起拉米家的手，紧着能去穿越家。看见的大儿美气，大罗米刚子罗，用作三季节家的手。
Kempo, you're muted. Wow. Thank you, Mary. So we're going to do the opening prayer. Oh, our chant almost finished. Nobody asked.
That's funny.
Oh, Mother Sentient Beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstacles who harm me, and those who create obstacles to my path to liberation and nation. May they experience happiness, be separate from suffering, and safely away, establish them in the still ones are past, perfect, complete, precious Buddhahood. Oh, Mother Sentient Beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstacles who harm me, and those who create obstacles to my path to liberation and change. May they experience happiness, be separate from suffering and safely. I will establish them in the still ones are past, perfect, complete, precious Buddhahood. Dalai Dhamma Zebe Dan Upar Zebe Harba Dan Dam Jen Jen Be Barade Jo Bara Zeba Dam Je Je So Zebe Manam Ga Dan Nyam Be Zem Jen Dam Je Dewa Dan De Dongara Dan Jar Nyorda Lana Meba Yang Da Bara Zobe Sanjo Rumbo Je Do Thus unto achieving enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and the mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and the mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and the mind. We take refuge in the Kandaru Lama and the lineage Lama. We take refuge in the deities of the mandalas of the Yadam. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas and Dakinis and the Dhamma gardens, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the example of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and the progress on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all beings, giving birth to Bodhicitta, and apply myself to complete each stage of the path. In the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha are most excellent. I take refuge unto enlightenment reach by the merit of generosity and other good deeds. May I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. May all Mother Sentient Beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separate from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. So now we go to mandala offering. Short mandala offering, page 10A. The ground is sprinkling with the scented water, and is strewn with the flower. It is adorned with the Meru, the spring mountain, the four continents, and the sun and the moon. As Buddha feared, I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness as the Buddha feared. To the Lama who possesses the Tirikayas, I offer altar in the secret offering. With my body, wealth, and all that is visible, please grant me the supreme enlightenment. Whatever merit I have gathered through postations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate. Om Guru Rina Mandala Bandamanga Saman Savarana Samaya Ho. I call refuge, ornament of the world, your fame provides the 3,000 worlds. You are the victor, Vajradhara, widow I bow at the feet of Father Jikin Songo. Continually I think of no one but you. Compassionate one, grant your blessings, dispel the darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I can realize the unlimited nature of my Please turn the wearer of the Dharma of the two wares and the combination according to the disposition and likewise the mental capacity of a sentient being.
Khenpo, you are frozen.
Where's my phone? I'll message him. Gotta find my phone. Oh, he's back. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear?
Yeah.
Sorry about lost connections. I'll come back again. So now we go to Majorshiri short. I think page 30 in the sub press to Majorshiri. Page 32. His wisdom is brilliant like the sun, free of the clouds of the two worlds, and perceive the various steps of knowledge in the true nature. For this reason, he holds the wisdom text at his heart. He has a compassion for all beings who suffer from the darkness of ignorance in the prison of samsara, as father for only son. Like a thundercloud, he wakes those who are sleeping in ignorance and losing the charm of karma through the 60 branches of Haramanes speed. He wields the wisdom sword to cut the settling of suffering and to dispel the darkness of confusion. In the Bodhisattva form, he is pure from beginningless time, fully accomplished the 10 levels and perfect in the body of all knowledge. I supplicate you, Majorshiri, adorned by the 112 sons of Buddha, to dispel the darkness of my ignorance. Om Arapatanade, 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 Om Arapatanade. You who are the perfect, youthful body, whose firm of wisdom bless, and dispel the darkness of worldly ignorance, I prostrate before you and press you, Manjushri. Okay, so now going into the teaching. Can you hear or not really? Okay, yeah.
You sound good. Yeah, I can hear clearly.
Okay. If the song is distracting, let me know. Something's going on, okay? Some sections I can fix, some part I can fix. Okay, so now we're going into the teaching. So the stage of meditation, right? I'm also confused which book is you were saying in the Saturday. I think this book, right? Saturday. We have a lot of teachings.
We
So
stopped on page 32, but I'm not, I think that's when we stopped.
yeah, we stop in the page 32. So we finished it. I think it's Hungry Ghosts. So just generally, you have to think about this book what follows, and so this has also introduction section and the main body conclusion, 3 different sections. How this book is teaching is followed by. So we finished the introduction, and now we are in the main body of the text. So main body of the text, we finished the how to meditate on the 4 thoughts, and that time the mind. So we finished that section, and then also we finished how to meditate on love. So today we are in the how to meditate in compassion. So meditate compassion and love meditation is very similar, but a little bit different aspects. So love means we wishing all these mother sentient beings have a happiness and the cause of happiness. Compassion means like we wishing all these mother sentient beings free from suffering and the cause of suffering. So the different aspect. The first step is we meditate love. So we recognize all these beings used to our parents, mothers. So then we create love to other beings. The same is in this present mother. And then you recognize all these beings used to our mother, but know these beings as endless suffering in samsara. And due to many reasons. So then we have to meditate and wishing all these mother beings free from suffering. So that's the reason we have to, meditate step by step, focus different realms. So we have to focus in the head realms, cultivate compassion to them. These head realm beings used to our mother. So when they are our mother, when they was our mother, during that time, so this mother who in the head realm, these mother beings protect us. So when we have a hungry and the thirsty or heat and the cold, so these mother beings protect us. So we have to cultivate the thing about like head realm beings extremely heat and cold suffering. So when these beings used to our mother, that time they protect us heat. So no our mother's suffering due to the karma heat suffering. So we wishing them free from heat realms. And then when this beings our mother, they protect us cold. So no our mothers suffering the cold in the cold realm. So we wishing them free from cold. And then our mothers, when they're our mother, they give food for us, give drinks for us. So not our mothers in the hungry ghost realms. So our mothers endless suffering, thirsty and hunger. So now we wishing them free from the thirsty and hunger. So that's we finish the section. So today is we focus for the animal realms. Animal realms. So page 30, I think 32. So no thing about the beings in the animal realms. So we have to cultivate, meditate animal realm. So this is compassion meditation. This meditation is not just resting mind. This meditation is intellectual, analyze and cultivating, recognize this all animal is beings used to our mother. So now we recognize this animal beings as a suffering. So now you feel that, recognize that, then really strong arise compassion to them, wanted to help them free from their suffering. So that compassion arises in our mind. That compassion is very powerful to purify our karma. We have a karma to reborn to animal realms. How to you going to purify that karma? Think about. So of course we have so many different methods and teachings, but this is the most powerful. This practice is specifically, purify karma to reborn animal realms. So then also increasing our love and compassion to others. How is the song okay? Can you hear? Still like
Yes.
distracting or no? Okay. So I can see your videos is like kind of sometimes like pause and it comes back and the pause comes back. Today the internet is really hard. I don't know something. Weather is perfect, everything is perfect, but we don't know subtle level what's going on. And we see the only gross level things, but we don't recognize subtle level connections, what happening. So, okay, so now we meditating, focus for animal realm right now. You're going to take this, analyze, think of the beings in the animal realm, suffering from stupidity and ignorance, and the torture of beings preyed upon by predators. When these beings were our mothers, they want us to be uninformed, not ignorant, so they taught us right from wrong and show us the path of what to accept and what to abstain from. No, however, our older mothers who are impaired by tremendous ignorance and confusion are tormented by suffering. So actually I talked this last week in this animal realms. So no, today I'm not going to talk more details. So I think I already shared last week this section. Animal realms, we finished last week. Thinking in this way, cultivate a compassion that longs for them to become free from this suffering and from the causes of suffering. So this all is actually fact. You recognize, think about all situations. Usually we don't recognize because due to our obscurations, we don't aware, we don't recognize all these situations. So this teaching is giving us wisdom and understanding, what the going on and the past lives, these beings suffering, usually we don't recognize. So this teaching really give us like understanding how generally all beings, and then they're all used to our parents, recognize that, then our minds become more open, and then when our minds open and wisdom arise, so then love compassion is more strong and arise. Love compassion arise in our heart, mind to this lower realm beings. So then we purify our hell realm karma, and we purify our hungry ghost karma. We purify our animal realms karma too. And then also, when this passion arises in our mind, so you use the object, and the object also get benefits because all is follow the interdependent follows. So you see someone, and example, like some animals, see animals are suffering, something going on, you can't strong compare the animal, you practice, you know, the animals used to our parents. So you really feel that, you know, it comes strong compassion in your heart. And that when the strong compassion arises in your heart, you can feel yourself, you have different experience, kind of a different feeling arise. So that when that different, like kind of when feeling arise to the animal, then purify our, and also that benefit to that animals too, because that animal help us arise our compassion. So where is our compassion come from? Due to that animal who's the suffering, and all is followed by interdependent subtle level connections. So we don't recognize that, but that is a Buddha who has omniscient wisdom. He recognized, and then he share all his teaching is followed by interdependent. The interdependent has a gross level interdependent, subtle level interdependent. So gross level interdependent, some we understand, mostly we understand if you study, you know, but subtle level interdependence, until we don't get realized, we don't understand. Gross level interdependent is like we study Dharma, and especially this Buddha's teaching, like philosophy, you know, talk about emptiness, and this all logic, use investigating, you know, cultivating meditation, intellectual meditations. So this practice, study, contemplated, understanding, gross level interdependent. Then subtle level interdependence, we have to get our, you know, own experience realization. So that's why we don't understand clearly this subtle level, but all is interdependent means like who help us arise compassion, they also get benefit too. So that's why we using, you know, object is hell realm beings, hungry ghosts, animal realms. Their beings endless suffering. So tormented suffering. We visualize, analyze these beings suffering, then arise very strong compassion to them, and then that helps out purify our karma, and their compassion helps the other beings too. So we have to know that that is like followed by subtle level interdependent. So then you meditate like that, you know, focus with lower realms, create compassion. So practice that, you yourself cultivate that. Really, you know, your mind is change. So that you can recognize yourself, your own experience. If you use this practice and meditate, this is not just creating, like we make the fears for people, you know. And this practice, who follow this way, follow that directions, that person is become transformed, change, and that person is become, you know, kind, and very compassionate person. So people who has the kind and the compassion really come from in the mind and heart. That person always has a happy. That person is no just suffering. So where is the suffering come from? Because the suffering is come from is self. Self means only thinking about our own benefit, not thinking about others much. So that's why the self brings suffering. Love, compassion come to others, bring the happiness. So that is the different method. And usually our worldly people don't recognize that, don't understanding that way, you know. Practice Dharma bring happiness, and worldly activity bring happiness is different. And practice Dharma bring happiness is like become inner peace and happiness, and that peace and happiness is more permanent. Worldly bring happiness is very temporary, and slowly the causes of suffering take to the causes of suffering. So that's the difference is. And actually all sentient beings looking happiness, no one looking suffering. But due to all these samsaric beings, chasing happiness create suffering. So we recognize that, we know that clearly in this whole world, what doing this, actually you love to, you know, like kind of settle down your mind, relax, think about all this world. Human beings is intelligent and also recognize what we have good and happiness, but all does create is suffering, causes of suffering, harm each other. You know, the words that come from because due to self. Very clearly is a self. The country is fighting because due to self, self-grasping. So where is it that come from? It come from ignorance. So then all this problem is based on the ignorance. And the ignorance, we don't recognize what is the right, what is wrong. Usually worldly people think what I'm saying is right, what I'm doing is right. But just only temporarily worldly way is okay. But you know, thinking about a more future life, and then thinking about you know, like more causes of a permanent happiness, then it's no one right there, because due to the ignorance. So that's we understand very clearly, and know this practice, love meditation, compassion meditation. Sometimes people think, why I have to do this? You know, I don't need to think about all these beings, my mother. So if you don't think that way, you never get compassion arise to your mind. Actually, if you don't get compassion arise into your mind, arise to your mind, no arise compassion in your mind, you are become always suffering in samsara. So then we want happiness, but don't know how to create causes of happiness. So that's why Buddha give this teaching is very clearly for us. We recognize Buddha is omniscient wisdom teacher. So when you study this Buddha's teaching and practice, then truly devotion arises to Buddha. Like irreversible devotion is arise your heart and mind to Buddha. So then you really understand and recognize the Dharma. So the devotion is come from two different ways. One is the devotion as arise from the Dharma. So that devotion is very strong, and that devotion is just how to say, like, not temporary, it's more permanent. That devotion is not irreversible devotion. How to arise that? You study this, practice, you understanding, oh, Buddha's teaching is truth, unmistaken. And you recognize, like, oh, Buddha means like he has a wisdom, he has compassion, because you is Dharma, and you can see yourself like Dharma is benefit us. So you can see yourself, Dharma benefit to you, then you really truly, and it comes devotion to Buddha. So that devotion is a very good devotion, higher level devotion. That devotion is called devotion as arise from the Dharma. So then another devotion is like just a kind of a more temporary devotion. It's good, but not really stable, because just somebody follow the Buddhist and say, okay, I also like Buddhist, looks like very nice, and looks like the people it's more peaceful. Oh yeah, they don't eat meat, I like that way, that's why I become Buddhist. Oh yeah, I saw this Dalai Lama or somebody, like Buddhist teachers, they are very nice, also I follow them. So that kind of devotion is not strong, because not much you understanding your devotion come from. And that devotion is not irreversible devotion. But that you have that devotion, then you slowly goes better, also a good way you can get. But sometimes you can lose devotions too. So that kind of devotions. So what I mean is, we study, contemplate in this teaching, comes irreversible devotion. That Dharma is arise from the, that devotion is come from, arise from the Dharma practice. So that devotion is very strong, very powerful. Okay, so now, just we have to think this way, cultivate, really have for your mind. When you think about others and cultivate love, compassion, so your mind become more loving and compassion. So then that helps release our self, introduce to the self, and also open your mind and introduce to become ignorance. So that practice is really causes of Buddhahood. This practice is the causes of Buddhahood. This practice is not causes of like we reborn the higher realms. That's why this practice is like true Dharma. Okay, so think that way, and when you have time, and just generally, or daily life, so you see someone has suffering and difficulty, use this cultivate, compassion, and really help for your own mind. So then, of course, the benefit is true. So second, then we go to the higher realms. No things in human. Though they spend their life seeking to fulfill all their desires. Tragically, they meet with unfavorable events and fail to achieve what they long for. So this human being problem, actually, we know ourselves very clearly. So we think about, in this human being of the beings in the human realm, though they spend there, so life is seeking to fulfill their desires. We have so strong desire, never ever satisfy our mind. So that's why Nagarjuna said, satisfy the mind is complete, the highest level, you know, perfection of generosity, satisfy. And also, like, usually we talk about La, and that is like most like in the Asian culture, Zamba popular. So especially in the also Chinese culture, Zambala, and we go to Taiwan and all these other countries, that everyone, these families like Zambala, practice in Zambala. So they like the Zambala empowerment. So then this Buddhist people, like who follow the Buddha, but they're not really understanding what means Zambala, what means essence of the Zambala, and what essence of the Buddha's teaching. They only want result. How to create a result? They don't think about the cause. So Buddha actually all teaching is create the cause, not talk about the result. Yeah. So we have to purify like causes of suffering. We don't want the suffering. We have to purify that. We want happiness. We have to create causes of happiness. So Zambala practice is like become wealthy, you know, rich. So then people think, oh, I want to practice Zambala, I want to be rich. So it's a desire, you know, desire become. And so what is have to do the practice in Zambala? Free from desire. And so you are free from desires. You do much strong desire. You have satisfy, I think satisfy your own mind. So that is the true love. Satisfy means like, you know, what you have, you satisfy that, you enjoy that, become you are rich. And what you have a lot of things, but you not satisfy that, and then you are always poor, you know. So that's we always, that's human beings problem, suffering. And if this world is right, you know, like perfect, no one is a hunger, no one is a thirsty, because this planet have all these human beings have food, clothes, everything's enough. But some is a so strong desire, and you know, so then actually that desire is create causes of suffering, because then many other beings know enough so many things. So that's all is come from desire. Human beings desire create sufferings each other. So seeking to fulfill all their desires, then tragically they meet with unfavorable events. So then tragically always get suffering, because we always, human beings, desire goes, and then always get the tragically means like always get problems. Problem is never end, suffering is never end. So human beings, we have generally, of course, like birth suffering, old age suffering, sickness suffering, death suffering. These four major suffering is like all human beings have. No one free from that, accept or not, it doesn't matter. But then extra individually, this due to the desires, and tragically they meet with unfavorable events. Some people get with enemies, you know, some people like just get, unfortunately get accident, many problems, you know, some always arise in things. So that's why we have to recognize human suffering, meet with unfavorable event, and fail to achieve what they long for. All these human beings who suffer from destruction and poverty, who suffer from not being able to satisfy. So we are not satisfied their desire because human beings are so strong desire, always wanting and wanting, never satisfied. So that's the problem. That's why create always suffering. Having been our own mothers in previous lives, so this being is all is used to previous mothers. So now we thinking in this way. So we have to meditate, thinking in this way, cultivate a compassion that longs for our poor old mother to become free from this suffering and from the cause of suffering. So we wishing that all these human beings free from suffering, causes of suffering, and these all human beings used to our mother, know that due to strong self and desire, create endless suffering, also actually create the causes of hungry gods suffering, human beings. And then human beings is like kind of more transaction in the sex realms because we create karma in the human. We have anger and due to that and harm for other beings. So that create harem karma, and we have a strong desire. So that create hungry gods karma, and we have tortured our other many animals all the time, so many different ways. So that create animal realms karma, and then we have a pride. So that create God's realms karma. We have a jealousy. So that's create jealous God's realm, and we have attachment. So that is create human realms karma. So we create all these six realms karma in during the human lifetime. So now, even these human beings have temporary happiness, but create causes of suffering. We recognize that, and we wishing them free from suffering, causes of suffering. Especially, you can look to someone who has desire, like company who owned, who has power. So these people create strongly no virtue as this. These people create causes of suffering, hungry gods, causes of suffering, harem beings. So we wish them free from suffering, causes of suffering. And so this is a little bit different ways, who know the Dharma. They're really, they're looking to other beings who know the Dharma. They're looking to other beings. So someone may be suffering, someone create a karma. So maybe the Bodhisattvas who create a karma more, compassion to that person. So who is suffering? That person like purifying karma and burning the karma. Who is create the causes of suffering? They're create suffering. They're going to future life endless suffering. So if you look that way, then right now, who has power? Who has companies? Company, company. I think business, big business, this owners and like that kind of people. So strong desire. Not everyone, but some. Some is we have really good people helping so many people, in many different ways. But some has like no any compassion and due to their selfish and always they're thinking about their own and that they don't treat it like these workers and who work for them, and they don't really care about their people, and then who has power, so they use the power and make suffering for many beings. So that kind of people is create endless suffering, but we don't recognize that. because our ignorance, we think that people are great, and human beings just look, oh yeah, he's doing very good, his business is successful, he is power, he can control all this, his country is power, his power control these people, he uses the power, is so, people think that person is like doing great, and then who's suffering difficulty, that thing, oh yeah, he's knowing he's like suffering, people don't care them, don't pay attention, and so we think like that way. But bodhisattvas, and so the compassion to who has power, who has a desire, like you own the company, like no helping for others. Do you understand or no what I'm talking about? Yes.
Say it one more
Yeah.
time. Can you
One
say
more
one
time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wisdom, like if we have wisdom belong to other beings, then our object of compassion has become different. So wisdom belong to other beings, they see who create the causes of suffering, compassion to them. It doesn't matter right now, they're doing good, they make money, they have power, but that is they recognize, like who has wisdom, they see that is a temporary, they create the causes of suffering, compassion to them. And so we see, okay, someone is suffering difficulties, so usually our compassion easy to arise to them, but bodhisattvas see they are purifying karma, they are better than who create the karma. Okay, so that's the I told the main point. So now we have to think these human beings are suffering and cultivate, comes compassion to all everyone, become compassion to all the human beings. Our mind is very close to each other, become like not really strong boundaries. So kind of like your connect with other people very easy, recognize like everyone is like brother and sisters. So that helps for our mind to connect with others too, temporarily, and then of course purify human beings karma. So we don't have to reborn the human being, we don't have to create the causes of suffering. So then next one, no think of the things in the God's realm. So God's realm is actually temporarily very good place. They helplessly suffer from dying, so they helplessly suffering when they're dying. So God realm is many lifetimes human beings, always perfect, many lifetimes human beings, they don't have problem, like same as human beings problems. This they don't have like temporarily suffering all the time, comes goes, always joy and perfect. But then when they get suffering, so they helplessly suffer from dying, transmigrating, and falling from the heights of the God's realm due to their emotional poisons. So then when they're ready to die, so they lose all the powers. They also, their own body, actually God's realm, their own body has like radiance and shining, beautiful, good smell, naturally arise, these things. And when they're ready to die, it's lose the body is shining, youthful, and then they lose the light radiance, and they lose the good smell, and become arise that is transformed to the bad smell. So that's the reason other gods or give up them. They don't want to talk and they don't want to be with them. So that's reason due to that, the long term, the dying, processing God's realm is like maybe many human beings lifetime. So during that kind of like times suffering. So then they also when they die, so they recognize they're going to falling down because God realm is the highest level. You cannot go more higher than that if you don't have realization, So that's samsara, the highest realm, the God's realm, and you finish their karma is going down. So they recognize that they're falling down. So that's also so much suffering for them. Though they spend their life seeking to fulfill all the desire, nothing of the beings in the God's realm, they helplessly suffer from dying, transmigrating, and falling from the highest of the God's realm due to their emotional poisons. These gods for whom the dying state is one is which every moment they are self-destructing, have all been our own mothers in previous lives. So this God realm beings also used to our mother in the previous lifetime. So we recognize that and we wish them free from their suffering. So that kind, meditation is actually purify our God's realm karma. This practice is really, really powerful and benefit for us who thinking about future life. So use this love and compassion meditate. We can purify all these 6 realms karma. That's the reason this is a very special method using this way and purify 6 realms karma. So we have to purify 6 realms karma, then we need something object to support for purify karma. So this other realm is our support. Hell realm, beings, hungry gods realms, animal realms, human being realms, jealousy gods, god realms, all these realms, beings actually support us, helping for us purify our karma, going to reborn to in the hell realms. So that's the reason the example, no example like Buddhists like who follow the Buddha. Beginners, very important to Buddha, but become more practitioner, very important to all other beings. So we have to practice this Dharma. We need object. We practice 6 perfections. We need object. The object is all other beings. So we need other beings. Then they help us and liberate. Without others, we cannot liberate. So that's the reason we use this all other beings object of the meditation. And then that helps strongly love, compassion arise our mind and purify these 6 realms karma, become we are liberate. So that's the reason you comes compassion to others beings. These beings like really actually helping us. Hell beings benefiting us actually. Because you see the hell realms suffering, you comes a really strong compassion to them. Their compassion purify our karma. that compassion is very powerful. Practice Dharma means that is Dharma. You know, you see someone is suffering, you comes a very strong compassion to that beings. That is the Dharma. So sometimes people don't recognize the Dharma means. So that compassion is the Dharma. And you see some other beings, recognize all these beings used to our parents. You wishing have happiness, causes of happiness. That come from your heart and mind. So that is the Dharma. And that practice purify our karma. So these beings really liberating us. Okay? So that's the reason Buddha liberating us, or you think about these other beings liberating us. Actually both. Not only Buddha liberating us, like all these beings liberating us. We need practice 6 perfections. 6 paramita, 6 perfection need object. Without object, you cannot practice 6 paramita. So this all object is other sentient beings. So that's the reason Bodhisattvas recognize this all other sentient beings is treasure for them, very special. Same as they recognize is Buddha. So who don't know the Dharma, inner level Dharma, then they always care about Buddha, think about Buddha, but that's also good. But then there's sometimes they don't care about other beings. So that means like you, that person is not really understanding Dharma. So Buddha, if we has a devotion, care about, you know, devotion, and someone really care about Buddha, like same time, and have to care about other beings too, because we're going to liberate. The liberations come from sentient beings and Buddha, both. Do you understand what I mean? So that's where like you look to, you know, different ways and feel connect with other beings. And when you do the generosity, we need object someone, you know. So really you compassion and wanted to have that person have something you see the problem sufferings. So then you're giving something, not any expectation yourself. So truly giving for them. And then that generosity, actually you helping that person is like, you know, maybe one day that person is not going to hunger, right? So that benefit us is like become free from, could be free from hungry ghost. Who get more benefit? Think about. If free from hungry ghost, if one day you giving for someone, truly not any expectation, like, so then that person is really liberate us free from hungry ghost. That person liberate us. Yeah. So we have to think that way. Then you know, recognize these beings are very important. So now we have to thank this God's realm also. This God for whom the dying state is one in which every moment they are self-destructing, have all been our own mother in previous life. They also been to our mother. Thinking in this way, cultivate the compassion, that the longing for our poor older mothers to become free from this suffering and from the causes of suffering. So we meditated that way, become, you know, purify our karma, and you think that will also benefit others too. So then in this way, look at how all these sentient beings are tormented by suffering. Think to yourself, just as I do not want to suffer. So in here it's like, did they talk about the jealous gods, I think? So jealous gods and the God's realm is like kind of together, you know, God's realm. Sometimes we say Doa Regma, Doa Regto. Sometimes we say 5, 6 realms means like God's realm, jealous gods is together. So the both as God's realm. So then in this way, look at how all these sentient beings are tormented by suffering. So we look then all beings tormented by suffering. Think to yourself. Then think also look to ourselves. Just as I do not want to suffer. All these sentient beings want the same. Cultivate compassion. So that's also like generally we cultivate compassion this way, you know. We see everyone, these beings tormentedly suffering, but reality, actually, these beings, no one wants suffering. So same is us. So also, I do not want to suffer. I do not want to suffer. Same is others too. So we think that, and then all these sentient beings want the same. Cultivate compassion, so that you feel longer for all beings who have been your own loving and kind Order Mother to be free from suffering and its causes. Even when you experience this kind of compassion in your meditation sections, you should keep cultivating compassion at all times, thinking of all the sentient beings throughout your day-to-day activity as well. So then, when we have to cultivate love and compassion for other beings, so we have to cultivate loving kindness, compassion to others is like often and often, and use the daily life, not only during the meditation section. So sometimes like meditators just what we talked here, this cultivating, analyze these situations and create, you know, love and compassion to others. And then me as good thing is like generally follow, you know, generally like daily life practice, love and compassion. Meditation sections, you should keep cultivating compassion at all times. Thinking of all sentient beings throughout your day-to-day activity as well. So when your compassion has reached the stage at which you feel equal compassion for all and see no disparity, then turn the focus of your meditation towards strangers and beings to whom you feel indifference. So then when we meditate this, like we have to follow by step. If you too much go jump, and then if we don't have a like, you know, basic practice is strong enough, you can be lost. So many Bodhisattvas who received the Bodhisattva vows, many the lost Bodhisattva vows they used to. There are lots of stories, you know. That kind of like become happening, like you can be lose your courages to do something. We have to cultivate this meditation compassion is step by step, thinking of all sentient beings throughout your day and today activity as well. Then when your compassion has reached the stage of without you feel equal compassion comes for others. So that time, actually, we are reached the point, means like completing the compassion practice, meditation. So that's you can recognize yourself, you can feel yourself. That's all is arise like on your experience. So when you meditate love, compassion, others, and one day like you see, your compassion has become equanimity, feel equal compassion for all, and see no disparities. Then turn the focus of your own meditation towards the strangers and the beings. So then we bring our mind and the stranger ones to whom you feel indifference. So someone like you doesn't really that much mind is like or connected to someone. So person is your mind and meditate kindness, love to that person. Think about like that person is used to my mother and other previous lifetime. So no, due to that person's emotion, and so create many problems for others and include me. So you think that cultivate, meditate, become your fear also change towards strangers and beings to whom you feel indifference. Think to yourself, all beings are my dear friends. So then thinking about ourselves, all these beings used to our parents. By meditating in this way, the compassion that longs for those experiencing excruciating suffering to be free from suffering naturally will arise equally towards all beings in your mind stream. This is also the sign you have become accomplished in compassion meditation and is called great compassion. So our compassion has become like reach the point is a level, get highest level accomplishment is become equalness, equal towards all beings in your mind stream. So that is the sign of your compassion is completion, reach the highest level. So when you have that compassion, then very easy to get Buddhahood. So that compassion, kind of like this compassion is not easy to arise in our mind stream. If this compassion arises in your mind stream, then you are already Bodhisattva. Actually, true the Bodhisattva, True the Bodhisattva means like there has the compassion is arise equally towards all beings in the Bodhisattva's mind stream. So that's the reason we talk about like relative truth Bodhisattva, absolute truth Bodhisattva. Relative truth Bodhisattva is more wishing other beings have a happiness, causes of happiness. We wishing all beings free from suffering, causes of suffering. So absolute truth Bodhisattva is their own mind stream arise that truth, like equalness for all beings arise on their mind. So that is the become we are Bodhisattva, and then we finish the love meditation, compassion meditation. So now we go into how to meditate on bodhicitta. So we told this teaching beginning where all this Buddha is come from, bodhicitta. So where is the bodhicitta come from? Bodhicitta come from compassion. Where does the compassion come from? Compassion has come from love. So that's the reason the love is causes of all the happiness, source. Without love, no possible compassion. Then without compassion, no possible this bodhicitta arise. Without bodhicitta, then we cannot be liberate samsara, and not possible to become achieve to Buddhahood. So that's the reason. Here is the third is the meditation on bodhicitta. So third one is number one is love, second is compassion, third is bodhicitta. As an antidote to our ignorance regarding the way to attain Buddhahood. So we practice all the phases of bodhicitta, and so we have ignorance. We have ignorance. As long as we have ignorance, we don't know how to practice Dharma, how to create the causes of Buddha, create the causes of Buddha. So that's the reason here is us introduced to our ignorance regarding the way to attain Buddhahood. So practice bodhicitta is introduced to ignorance and lead to the Buddhahood. That's the reason we have to practice all the phases of bodhicitta. The bodhicitta has many different kind ways practice. So this all bodhicitta we have to practice. The bodhicitta, the main point is relative to the bodhicitta, absolute truth, the bodhicitta. So bodhicitta has two categories. Already here say relative and automatic. First, I will explain relative to the bodhicitta. So first we have to follow by relative to the bodhicitta. The reason is because we don't have realization emptiness, and we don't have realized emptiness. So we have to first step is followed by relative to the bodhicitta. Relative to bodhicitta consists of aspiring and engaging bodhicitta. So relative to the bodhicitta has followed difference. Aspiring bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta. Aspiring is like we wanting to do or wishing something. Engaging bodhicitta is just doing things, actions. So you want to join this program, that is called aspiration. And now you are into the program, you are cultivating. So that is called engaging bodhicitta. I always share that, like when you listen and teaching, so you practice aspiration, bodhicitta, and engaging bodhicitta both. Aspiring is like wanting to do that. Engaging is like you already starting, going into there. So that is engaging. All this, Dharma practices into these two, aspiration and engage. So the engage practice has 6 perfections, 6 paramita. And when you listen in Dharma teaching, all these 6 paramita is included practice there too. So that is, other many teachings like talk about that clearly mention about who listening Dharma teaching, that person is engaging 6 paramita. And who told the teachings, shares the teachings, that person also engaging 6 paramitas. So that's the reason used to like many other teachers say the highest level, good level practice of Dharma is listening teaching and share the teaching. So when you listen and teaching, you also have 6 paramita. And when you share the teaching, also you have 6 paramita. So now engaging bodhicitta, there are 2 bodhicittas. First is aspiring bodhicitta, refers to the aspiration that aims to bring all sentient beings to the state of Buddhahood. So we wanted to bring all these mother sentient beings take to the Buddhahood. So that is aspiration bodhicitta. Aspiring bodhicitta. It is like the desire to go somewhere. So I wanted to go somewhere. Like same is like I wanted to receive this teaching. Okay, I wanted to practice this dharma. So that's all is called aspiration bodhicitta. Then it is like the desire to go somewhere else, somewhere. So it is a commitment to the result. Aspiration bodhicitta is a commitment to the result. I wanted to become Buddha. So that is like commitment to the result. It's called aspiration bodhicitta. Engaging bodhicitta refers to the actual application of bodhisattva precepts and everything to which we apply ourselves and the accomplishment of enlightenment. So engaging bodhicitta refer to the actual application. Application means like you into that practice. Or bodhisattva precepts means like we receive the bodhisattva's vow and everything to which we apply ourselves. We apply like 6 paramita practice in the accomplishment of enlightenment. So this practice is all is accomplishment of enlightenment. It's like actually sitting on our journey. So same is like on the journey, you know, ready to on the way. So now you are in the engaging because you already into the lesson and teaching. So you are already in the journey. It is a commitment to the cause itself. So it is a commitment cause means we want a Buddha. So that is a commitment to the result. Where is the Buddha come from? 6 paramita. So then you engage into the 6 paramita practice. That is called commitment in the cause. One time result, we recognize where does that come from. So then you know the cause, you engage in the cause. So that's why it's called, it is a commitment to the cause itself. Arising from this, bodhicitta cultivation has 3 phases preliminary. Me and in concluding. So arising from the bodhicitta and cultivation has 3 phases preliminary, me and concluding. So now we have to take the bodhicitta vows, have to follow by preliminary and me and concluding, 3 different levels. The preliminary phase in the ceremony or ritual practice as follows. So usually we receive the bodhisattva vow from the teacher, and you also can receive bodhisattva vow from the special object, even not human being. So we have to, first is we have to receive bodhisattva vows. And usually when you receive the empowerment, sometimes like teachers giving bodhisattva vows specifically. So last couple of weeks, months ago, like Gache Rinpoche give one, Holiness Dalai Lama give bodhisattva vows. So we receive like many different ways, bodhisattva vows. So that is the preliminary first. So then when you receive the bodhisattva vow is like followed by ritual practice as is follows. Seeing your Lama as the actual Buddha in person. So when we receive the bodhisattva vow, we visualize the person is like same as the Buddha. Or for the 7 branch prayers, so we chant the 7 branch prayer. This gather the referential accumulation of merit. So that's create accumulation merit. 7 branch practices like create accumulate merit. Long as we have enough accumulation merit, we can receive the Bodhisattva vows. So that's the reason actually any practice Yidam deity always follow the 7 branch prayers first. The reason is like we create accumulation merit, like practice Yidam deity is successful. Same thing, when we receive the Bodhisattva vows, when we receive the Dharma teachings, we chant 7 branch prayers and we create accumulation merit. Long as we have accumulation merit, less obscurations. Then rest naturally for a time in the non-conceptual state. So then also when you receive the Bodhisattva vows, first you chant 7 branches, create accumulation merit, and then also you meditate yourself, like non-conceptual rest in mind, you know, the non-referential accumulation of wisdom. So then we create a true accumulation merit. Usually we talk about 2 accumulation merit, and accumulation merit with wisdom. So wisdom is like we have to meditate, non-conceptual. So no referential accumulation of wisdom. Meditate on the 4 immeasurable until they truly merge with your mind stream. So then also we can meditate 4 measurables. 4 measurables: love, compassion, and joy, equanimity. So these 4 of the practice, the 4 measurable. Meditate 4 measurable, and then going to take the Bodhisattva vows. Immeasurable love is the longing for all beings to have happiness. Immeasurable compassion is the longing for all beings to free from suffering. Immeasurable empathetic joy is the longing for all beings to be inseparable from happiness. Immeasurable equanimity is seeing all beings equally without any discrimination or bias. So that is a 4 immeasurable meditation. 4 immeasurable, sometimes like, you know, the practitioners years only practice this 4 measurable, focus this 4. So then practice this 4, like truly they arise love, compassion, empathetic joy, you know, discrimination or bias like arise on the mind. So that practitioners like meditate in these 4 measurables, until when they get a very special feeling arise in the mind. So that's the meditators, that's practitioners. Then with the intention of going for refuge for the benefit of others until reaching the state of Buddhahood. So we take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. Second is the mean phases of giving rise to bodhicitta. This enters taking the actual commitment. Wow, that just as the Buddhas of the past first give rise to supreme bodhicitta, embodying all the Bodhisattva's trainings, and brought forth the benefit of all sentient beings. In the same way, I too give rise to supreme bodhicitta, and from my heart, I shall practice the 3 trainings of the Buddhist path. So now, receive the Bodhisattva vow. That's called second is the mean phases. Like this means like we're receiving the Bodhisattva vows, giving rise to bodhicitta. So we have to, you know, contemplate this enters taking the actual commitment of taking the Bodhicitta vows. So vow that just as the Buddhas of the past first give rise to supreme bodhicitta means all this first they take this bodhisattva vows past first giving rise to supreme bodhicitta. So they're giving rise to bodhicitta first. This all the past Buddhas. Without the bodhicitta, no one enlightenment. So this all past Buddhas is come from bodhicitta. So that's the reason this all past Buddhas that took the Bodhisattva's vows. So they did this practice, first giving rise to supreme bodhicitta. Then they took the Bodhisattva's vows. Then what they did, abide in all the Bodhisattva trainings and brought forth the benefit of sentient beings. Means then this previous Buddhas first is like all is regular being. It's the same as us. Then they took this Bodhisattva vows, all these previous Buddhas. Then they put effort, become their core Bodhisattva on the path, abiding in all the Bodhisattva trainings. So they followed all the Bodhisattva training, 6 paramitas, and brought forth the benefit of all sentient beings. So then they benefit all other beings on the path. So in the same way means I also do same is what Buddha Shakyamuni you did. I want to do same is what previous Buddha what they did. They did first they receive Bodhisattva vow. Then secondly they put effort, practice all these 6 parameters. I'm going to do the same as you did. So like that, you know. In the same way I too give rise to supreme Bodhisattva, bodhicitta. And from my heart, so I take this out my heart, I share, practice the 3 trainings. The 3 training is morality, meditation, and wisdom. So that is called 3 trainings. 6 parameter is subsumed into the 3 trainings. 6 parameter is subsumed to method and wisdom. So that's the reason if we practice the 6 parameter, actually all practice all the 84,000 Buddha's teachings. 84,000 Buddha's teaching Dharma we practicing. I shall practice the 3 training of the Bodhisattva path. So then that is like we taking the Bodhisattva vows. Then what we have to do third? Third is the concluding phase of the Bodhisattva vow ceremony. Understand that know your human birth has become meaningful. So now we receive the Bodhisattva vow. This is third is the conclusion. What we have to think. No, my life is meaningful. Because we get precious human body. If we don't talk the Bodhisattva's vows, our life is wasting, no meaningful. So we have precious human body and we cultivate love, compassion, and take this Bodhisattva vow, then our life is become meaningful. So we have to recognize that. No, your human birth has become meaningful. No, you have become a child of Buddhas. No, we are recognized our child of Buddha means the sons, daughters. Buddha's sons and daughters are. So we also get the Buddhahood. Same as Buddha Shakyamuni. So now we are child of the Buddha when we talk this Bodhisattva's vows. So that means like we are truly Buddhist and follow the Buddha when we receive this Bodhisattva vows. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Thinking in this way, so no rejoice. No, we have to rejoice ourselves. So why we have to rejoice? Because you do like sometimes like some ceremony your home, so you invite all your guests, you know, and which is you like maybe your friends, family, or you have connections. You invite they are in your guests. So now when we receive the Bodhisattva vow, we invited all our guests, Buddha and Bodhisattvas. All mother sentient beings is our guest. Because we join the ceremony. So then thinking in this way, we have to rejoice. Wow, that henceforth you were not usually or disgrace, this flawless, noble family of the Bodhisattva. We have to rejoice. Is like, you know, now we are become like son of Buddha. So we are the become noble family. That's the reason I don't want, you know, not solely or disgrace this flawless noble family of the Bodhisattvas. So same is like some like family is like very good reputation, very high, you know, like kind of kings. I don't want to lose my reputation. Like just people say that, you know, kind of like that, but that is just temporary actually. This is the more higher, it's more permanent. And so now we have become Buddha's son and daughter. So we are noble family. We cannot, you know, not solely or disgrace this flawless noble family of the Bodhisattvas. The next part is where you beg on others to rejoice in that you have formally taken your Bodhisattva vows. You invited awakening beings above all sentient beings to come and bear witness as you give rise to bodhicitta for the sake of all beings. So now our guess is like all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, all the mother sentient beings. That's all mother sentient beings witness for us. So we say, I'm going to benefit you. I'm going to take bodhicitta vows. So this all mother beings our guests. So they all is our witness. So we say all no. We say all our guests are rejoice. Not only ourselves rejoice. All mother beings rejoice. Because we're going to benefit all these mother beings. You invited the waking beings, see above, like first like waking beings, Buddha and the Bodhisattvas and all saints, then also all sentient beings to come and bear witness as you give rise to bodhicitta for the sake of all beings. Here is where you encourage others to rejoice as well. So now you say, everyone rejoice. I will benefit all beings. So that is a witness is all mother sentient beings. So like this,
But this is
person
impossible.
who give up to the supreme bodhicitta,
Yeah,
it's possible. It's possible, okay?
it's such a deep virtue. You have to transcend everything like that. I understand though, but okay, thank you.
Okay, so like this, a person who give rise to supreme bodhicitta must apply self or herself to the path of the six perfection, Sanskrit paramitas. So now what we have to do, we have to practice the six paramitas. So this is the relative to the Bodhisattva, and we don't have 100% practice. So now we say we're going to do this, mind become is courage, wanting to do this, like create a very powerful mind and courage mind. Bodhisattva means, like Tibetan is called Sanchok Sempa. Sempa means courage, heroics. Means like I can do whatever I can benefit others for other beings. So that is a courage mind. Long as you have that mind and come to your heart, then you are Bodhisattva. Relative to the Bodhisattva, but you are not still, absolute to the Bodhisattva. And you have that courage in your mind. That is already great. That mind is called precious mind. We never get that kind of mind. Even the gods, realms, kings, also they don't have that precious mind. No one has that. That's why it's called Bodhisattva. Means it's special beings, spiritual beings. No one has, like even gods, realm, kings, of course, human rank kings. No one, human realms, the kings, presidents, whoever there no one has that precious mind. So that's why it's called precious mind. That's why all these sentient beings rejoice, and the Bodhisattva is rejoice. Even you think that, create that in your mind. So we never have that beginningless time until now. We never have arise that mind before. So that's why it's called Bodhisattva. It's courage. It's precious mind. Now what we have to follow the six paramita. So English is the six perfections. Sanskrit is the six paramitas. Okay. The first perfection is Janarasti. So when we take the Bodhisattva vows, then what we have to follow? We have to follow by this six paramita. Six paramita, first one is Janarasti. To practice this, we learn to give rise to the object of our attachment and clinging. Practicing Janarasti in the level we are able. To practice this is we learn to give up the object of our attachment and clinging. Janarasti is main point is we giving up our attachment and clinging. Not giving up your home, not giving up your job, So give the Janarasti main point is like giving up attachment and clinging. So that is a really, really good word. You have to understand it. Janarasti, usually people think you have to give up everything. Not that means. The Janarasti is like give up our attachment and clinging. So any object you have attached and clinging to something, your job or your home, your car or your family, anything, you can mentally that is offering to Buddha and Bodhisattva. So that helps for reduce our clinging and attachment. So that's the reason we have offering practice, offering prayers, mentally offerings. And then also sometimes we do the Janarasti who need food, we giving food for them. And who need cloth, we give cloth for them. So that is practice generosity. The main point is we have to give up our attachment, clinging, practice generosity. At this level, we are able. So then, what is our level? Our ability. Level we are able means like you don't have to do something you cannot. You know, if you do that, that affect your practice. Some things affect your practice, you don't do that. So you need, with the compassion together, wisdom, recognize what you do right, what is going to wrong. Sometimes you see, oh, it's good, you know, like your compassion sees something. Without wisdom, it's like it goes more longer, it causes of suffering. So then maybe harm for others too, or harm for us. So whatever we do is like with wisdom is great. Level we are able. We can make offerings to the three jewels of refuge by mentally offering all things that belong to us as well as all that do not belong to us. See, this is a very special method. We can physically offering to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, spiritual beings, but also we can mentally offering to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Both ways create accumulation merit. Some things you have to physically offering, some things you can mentally offering, you know. Like think about your house. It's you can mentally offering. You need a house. You know, your body is mentally offering. Your speech, your mind is all mentally offerings. And what you have to own, what you need to use, like daily life, you can mentally offerings. There's some things like you have extra things, or you think is all my spiritual teachers or bodhisattvas need something, you can offering that physically. So that's we have to follow, you know, like practice, like follow by daily, you know, life, like we recognize what we have to do. Then of course, like we can generosity giving to other beings too, something what they need. And belong, some is like we can offering mentally belong to us, some is even not belong to us, you can mentally offering. This serves as an antidote to possessiveness and self-clinging. So that helps reduce our self-clinging and antidote to the selfish, self-grasping. Regular beings means like strong, selfish, ordinary beings. Bodhisattva means love, compassion. Who has love, compassion means Bodhisattva. So love, compassion cannot be with self-grasping. So that cannot go together, because so when you have a love, compassion, that time is not you thinking about me and I. So love, compassion arises to others. And so that positive feeling is a causes of happiness. And when you're thinking about me and I, it's like so strongly arise, selfish. So that is causes of suffering. Usually regular beings don't recognize that. So only Buddha has omniscient wisdom. He realized that, you know, and thinking about our own benefit, that is the causes of suffering. Buddha recognized that. And thinking about others, that is the causes of happiness that Buddha recognized. So that's the reason we recognize ourselves, look to, you know, all these sentient beings. Where these sentient beings come from? Because due to self. Where is Buddha come from? Love, compassion for others. So that is like clearly result is already there. But usually human beings think is self, our thinking about our own, you know, that is like thinking about we create our own happiness. But sometimes that like temporary happiness go longer, it's causes of suffering. So then we love, compassion arise our mind, thinking about others. That times usually human beings think, oh, you know, don't have a strong enough myself, something, you know, some people say, I don't have strong enough myself. So that is a misunderstanding, you know, if follow the Dharma way, like long ago, strong enough ourselves is like become selfish. So usually we think that is protecting us. We due to ignorance we think that is correct, but actually who has wisdoms that not really protecting ourselves. Selfish is create causes of suffering ourselves. Protecting ourselves is like bodhicitta. When bodhicitta arises, that is protecting ourselves, truly protecting, and absolute truth protection. Bodhicitta is. Bodhicittas not any enemies. See, so that is protecting themselves already. The bodhisattvas no hell realms, no hungry ghosts, no animal realms. They protect already themselves. So who has selfish, then that person has hell realms, hungry ghosts, animal realms. Then really they protect themselves? No, they really create their own problem, sufferings. But we don't see that. That's like kind of, you know, future life, longer way. We don't recognize. We only love temporary. So now, let them. So virtue, quality, and harm, speech and mind bring forth virtuous qualities. I see, I'm not there yet. So this serves as antidote to possessiveness and self-clinging. The spirits of the aspired of giving that is cultivated here constitutes generosity, by which we give rise to others without attachment. So generosity is like here is talking about no any expectation. So this perfect generosity. Long as you have expectations, then that generosity is causes of samsara. Means like you can be reverent, you can be rich one lifetime, then that is going to exhaust. The practice like virtuous deeds is going to exhaust. Expectation, generosity. Without expectation, generosity is the causes of Buddhahood. So generosity is due to the mental, you know, expectation or not. Follow that result is not follow you giving like bigger or small. Followed by your intention. So intention is very powerful. Expectation means like you start thinking about your own benefits, giving generosity. That generosity is not powerful. And no expectation means like you're giving something for others, not thinking about yourself. Truly love, compassion comes giving to someone. And you don't need a name, you don't need thinking about anything, no need to press to, no need to show the news. So what don't care about anything ourselves, and truly okay, I want to benefit them. So that is called truth generosity, truly generosity. And that result is very powerful. It's causes of Buddhahood. Okay, so now I think we can leave that today. Time is going to finish. So we finish the first part, engaging bodhicitta generosity section. Okay, so what do you think, bodhicitta? Are you okay to do that, or still too early already talk bodhisattva vows? No regret, right?
That was fantastic.
Okay.
No regrets on my end. I'm taking my vows and taking refuge.
Yes.
I have a question, Kempo.
Yes.
So I'm having a difficulty because I'm trying to be very compassionate in my work, and
Uh,
I'm a nurse, so I take care
yeah.
of like, sick people. But sometimes I see things that happen and then they get hurt and I get mad because they got hurt. And that's not helpful. So is there any way to, because I'm confused somewhere because I'm trying to care for them, but then I end up angry because something around them hurt them. So I'm like, how can I turn that into something useful for them? Because it's because I care for them and they got hurt, you know?
So that's always happening like that. Each works, everything like due to this use our worldly activities. Even people has some kindness, compassion, but then that's also sometimes hurt some people too. So most important is like before you go to and starting your work, before you go to the work, and you just cultivate this bodhicitta, meditate, and today whatever I'm do, whatever my action arise, is benefit for others. So you mind generate, change your intention. So that helps for when you get in the world. Then, so whatever you does, like first you have already have a bodhicitta mind, and first morning, like you have to cultivate this bodhicitta hours. Chant this opening prayer, 1 seconds maybe. So we actually have to renewed again every day bodhisattva hours. When you chant this, it's kind of like renewed again. And if we lose bodhisattva, like due to anger, like someone, it's become also fixing again, bodhisattva hours. That's why we chant again and again. So chant again and again this bodhisattva hour every day. Then when you get in the world, so you just every situation is different, not the same. And sometimes we think it's correct, but we do that compassionately, but some end up it's incorrectly, And that's the reason that some people hurt too. Sometimes we think correctly, it comes also correctly too. What we think is it become right. So the main important is like good heart. I wanted to do this. I see this right, so I wanted to do that. And you're wanting what you wanted to do, wanted how to help for that people, and you're seeing is a correct way to do that. And then someone hurt, and so you have to, log to yourself. Okay, I cannot have emotion, because I did my best. I did what I did my best, then log to yourself. I don't have to get upset. So that helps you release your, and the upset emotions. Then what you did, like become even the hurt someone, is like not no virtuous because you take that is on the practice dharma. Yeah. So it's very good to do, like practice dharma is in the nurse. You see so many patients every day. You have action bodhisattva, action bodhicitta. So many patients every day, different kind of situations, suffering. Who come to hospital is suffering. No one happy, joy in come to hospital. This beings are suffering who come to in the hospital. So first you have to recognize that who come to in the hospital, no one is happy and joy come here. So everyone is suffering, and recognize that. So I wanted to help them much ever I can. So that's also you easily connect with these patients too. Yeah. And then recognize their sufferings. Now you think, okay, I can help this. So you also think, oh, I have opportunity to serve for these people. and I can have this. This is my opportunity. It's really great thing, you know, change your mindset is perfect practice Dharma places in the hospital, especially this bodhicitta practice. So other jobs, some is you can still like love, compassion, bodhicitta, but I say it's like perfect place love, compassion, bodhicitta practice places in the hospital. You always have an object in there, this object. So then this object really helps you become, you know, liberating. Actually, the highest levels we say liberating. This object helps you, really your qualities in love, compassion is growing. This object is like really precious for, you know, for who practice bodhicitta. Okay, so thank you for your question. That's great. Then anyone has questions?
Kempo, can you just explain a bit about what wrathful compassion is? So that last question made me think of it. So if you're seeing somebody, you're trying to help someone, and then someone else is doing something that harms them, so then you are angry. But if it's wrathful compassion, maybe there's no emotion and you just, but you're firm and clear about it.
Wrathful compassion is a more actually higher level, you know, higher level, little bit higher. And this who has a skillful method, and they can do use wrathful compassion to others to change others. So that's you know, not easy for regular ordinary beings. Wrathful compassion is because when you go into situations, you get angry, you get emotions too. So wrathful compassion help for others, like whatever situation comes, they're no lose their courages, they're no lose their bodhicitta, they're not into the emotions. They has wisdoms and recognize situation, that knows what method to use change the situation. So that's the reason. Of course, we can do some small things, use wrathful way to change the situation. So some situations, some, you know, like people doing like harming for others, you can stop that. You're telling them very nicely, they don't stop. Say, if you don't stop, I'm going to call police, okay? So we do that, right? See, if you don't stop that, I'm going to shoot you. So make scare them, and like yourself is not angry because like you wanted to help them, no harm for others. So that is like kind of wrathfully use method, stop the harming for others. And then thing about the Bodhisattva's wrathful is totally different, and we don't have that kind of like level to benefit others. And if we think, oh, Bodhisattva has become wrathful benefit others, I wanted to do that way. So that is like then become, we are stuck in the suffering. You know, we can lost our Bodhisattva hours. That's the reason Buddha said beginners don't act same as this practitioner Bodhisattvas does.
Thank you. That's so they're like acting almost. If it appears to us ordinary beings that they're angry, it's not really anger. It's
no anger comes, then that means like not really wrathful practicing Dharma.
right. Okay.
Anger is emotion. So you are already into the emotion, then you cannot say I'm wrathful the helping someone. First, you don't need you have to like at least control your emotion. Then you can have for others. You cannot control, like example, like we cannot control our emotions. So we say I'm going to have for others. We do that. We are same emotion what others has. Then we not get created causes of suffering, not benefiting each other.
But if we're women, okay?
Yes.
So now, say a woman wants to be a mother. This whole premise is mother. And then last week we talked about mother, mother, mother. Now, as a woman, even if you're a woman, bodhisattva, you want to have a baby. But then you're going to tell me that's self-grasping and attachment? How does that reconcile? I'm very struggling with this. I mean, like, but if, okay.
Okay, thank you about,
like
you know,
Junyan
mothers
Tantra,
want to,
right? Junyan Tantra? Is that like two bodhisattvas? Okay.
Okay, so that is a, I don't know how to give you answer. I don't really understand your question, the main point. We meditate all mother sentient beings. Mother has love to their own child. So that we know, so mothers care their own child. Mother has love for that. And so mother, we didn't say have wisdom. Mother, we didn't say like has like bodhicitta yet, right? Mother has love for their own child. So same like that, we have to create all other beings. So then mothers want to have a child. Of course, they want a child that have love. Then the mothers like really we say no, they are practitioner, dharma practitioner, right? If the mother is a dharma practitioner, then the mother say, all this brings my child. Then there has already child. Everyone is their own child. There has enough child. So
That's what this
okay.
other person said to me the other day. Oh, why do you want to have your own baby? That's ego child. Why does a baby have to come from your ego?
So mother has love, but mother, because don't ready is a practitioner, dharma practitioner.
Yeah.
Practitioner is like, then you see everyone is your own child. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So then, if the mother, like example, someone really suffering, some beings like they recognize, oh, this beings are suffering if they're looking for form body. If they don't get a form body, they're endless suffering. Oh, this is okay to come to my baby. So accept that. That is like called bodhisattva. So just thinking about the different, you know, like bodhisattva and the regular beings means I need a child. I want a child is, of course, it's like self, own benefit. Yeah. I want to, okay, have a baby. Maybe, you know, in the lower realms, there's so many beings. I want one create a human being, and I want to benefit that. So you have that kind of thinking. Also, like better situation, change your mindset. It's always followed by mindset, not followed by the situation, followed by your intention.
This is a difficult question.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
okay,
it's
so,
logical. It's body, right? This is the body drive. So for 14 years, okay, so I had a child. The child has died in my life. Yeah, my child has died. But for the last 14 years, I've been altruistic, since I was, no, maybe 20 years, I've been altruistic. I don't want to have a child. Every child is my child. Now I'm old and maybe I can have a child, and the one that I had that grew up is dead. So now it's like, I don't know. It's biological.
Yeah, that's a understanding. That is all followed by worldly thinking. Worldly thinking.
Yeah.
So
But here we
ordinary
are.
people thinking. That's all ordinary people thinking. So Dharma practice is like we change our mindset. If we have that kind of situation thinking, so then you think, okay, all these beings like my child. And even you have a child, really the child benefit you or no, you don't know the own child. The child means like parents think that child really going to help me, benefit me when I'm old. But how many child benefit for parents? So it's don't know, everything is unpredictable.
Yeah.
We don't know, like all is like changing and temporary. Like right now you think, oh, I need a child. Maybe next day you think I don't need a child. So then which minds we follow, which is correct? Both is incorrect. Both is followed by delusion. Yeah. So then many people think, oh, I need a child when I'm old. That they create a child, they have a child. The whole life is like, put effort for raising the child, but then end of the child benefit their parents? No, they don't benefit. So maybe some kids like really harm for parents too. Don't know. So that's why samsara, everything is unpredictable. And then some people think, oh, I don't have a child. Yeah, it's like you don't have a child. It's okay, I don't have a child. Your life is like just don't have to you put the effort too much for kids. You grow up, and so when you're old, you think, oh, I need a child without child, but maybe you really don't need. If your mind is opened, mind create everything. So think about in the world, and also like I just not talking about the Dharma right now. Okay, followed by worldly things. In situation in the Western country, so parents like when they're old, they have mostly to go to nursing homes. The nursing is taking care of them generally. So then just you follow that. If you know how to meditate, you have to practice Dharma, and impermanence. That is the better the child. That is a true support when you old. Helps for the people, but usually people don't recognize. People think I need a child. They're going to help me, support me, and when I'm old. Actually, that is unpredictable. Who really going to help you when you're old? Meditate impermanent. And meditate loving kindness for others. So that's really helpful, truly, permanently, and yourself. So that's like most who practice Dharma recognize, but who don't practice Dharma, they don't recognize. It's just different ways thinking, different ways understand.
Campbell, I have a question.
Thank you.
Yes.
When we practice love and compassion, isn't love and compassion also generated by emotion? Like when I saw someone suffering, I feel really sorry for them, and I feel sad, and that's emotion. And when I really want to give them happiness, love, and that's also emotion. Isn't it the truth, or it's not?
It's good to do that way. First, this is our first level practice. First, so we long as we have emotion, we also have to follow that way, create love, kindness for others. That bring you to truth, love, and compassion.
So what is the difference between true love and compassion and just love and compassion, normal love and compassion, or just
True love
emotional?
and true love is compassion, is unconditional love and compassion. So emotional love is like you just said, like, you know, someone suffering and you see that, oh yeah, suffering. So you feel also so sorry about them and feel bad, but something, okay, I can have one something do. So then you also have something feeling like kind of, you know, emotions. Same time, you know, you have kindness too. So that's it. Like also that kind is also close to comes arise to your family, relatives, and you know some your neighbors and who has connections. You easily come to that kind of
Yes.
compassion to them. So that is like good, you know, first step. So that bring you to unconditional love and compassion. First, we need that. Okay.
So first we need the love and compassion with condition. But how do
Yes,
you
yes.
get it from condition to unconditioned?
Condition is, of course, we realize our mother being in front, like especially present mother, and recognize all this mother's kindness for us. So that's the condition, shuni meditating unconditionally. Then slowly you realize all beings used to mother, and then you really heart, your mind, like, you know, wanting to feed them, is that is unconditional love for arise to others.
Okay.
Yes.
So we don't
Okay,
have.
so now we take break here. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So unconditional love, compassion, the arise from through the meditation actually. When you meditate, and you realize, you know, like your nature, and then comes a really strong compassion to others. Arise compassion, arise compassion because for the due to your meditation.
Okay.
That is unconditional. Okay, so thank you everyone, and we finish it morning session there. 6 o'clock we have a meditation and practice again meditation, and you can have bring more questions. I'm going
Is it
to
6 or 7, Kempo? 7 o'clock, I think. 7 Eastern Standard Time.
Is it 7?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so 7. Yeah, then 7. Sorry about.
So it's 7 Eastern time, not 9.
Correct.
No, 9, 7 o'clock.
ED, 7 Eastern Time. Your time, Lisa.
Tonight.
Mhm.
Oh, tonight, not tomorrow
Tonight.
morning.
Tomorrow morning is 9.
Thank you.
7 o'clock Eastern Time PM today. I'm going to chant the dedication.
Thank you.
Yewa yinje parma jubar, ere jine nande yarnong yo nege dage mola dabane, soje sanje sansen danje je, keme drabar sinje labde sor, tiyada ben sanje ya awa bode na yesuwa, sanjo senjo, Rinpoche, Maje Banan Je Jurje, Jeba Nyamba Me Baya, Kong Ne Kong Den Pe War Yu. Sonam De Ye Dam Je Ziba, Tong Na Yin Pe Rana Ban Se De Jiga Na Je Ba Lan Zhiba, Siben So Den Zhou Wa Yu, Nya Ba Ba Ve Je Da Ren Jin Ba Dan Ge De Zang Bo Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kempo.
See you later.
Thank you, Kempo. Thank you.
Bye. See you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Campo,
Thank
see
you,
you
everyone.
later.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Later.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
I'm gonna watch Power Watch tonight. You too.